Morning everyone. I welcome you all to today's class, and we are going to discuss about the same chapter that is which we have started 2 days back. I mean in last two periods. So it is why do we need a parliament? And in our today's period we shall be discussing about the functions of our parliament. So there we will come to know about the three major function of our parliament. So we will have a discussion on that. Okay, before we start up, let's have a recap of our previous day's topic, that is the people and their representative, which was discussed in our previous day, as well as the role of the parliament. So people and their representative means the being a country, India, which is a democratic one. Here people are making, or they are creating, or they are forming the government, and the government functions on that basis. So a democracy is where people's hopes, aspirations are given importance, and people are selecting or electing their representative, who become the leaders or who become the the government or the ruling party, and they function accordingly. And then every 5 years there are Lok Sabha elections are it held every 5 year gap, and the country is being divided into numbers of constituencies, and from each constituency one member is being elected for the parliament. And there are these members become the later on these members become the uh, members of the parliament, and they are of immense power because they are the representative of the people. On the other hand, these members of parliament, they have a very important role because they form the guidelines and the rules, or which are required for proper functioning of the country, not only for the citizens, even for the government also. The guidelines are being made by these representatives of different political parties. Okay, and then after that we have also discussed about the functions of the parliament. So India has a numerous constituency. Each constituencies elects one parliament, we already have said, and the candidate who contest election usually belong to different political parties, and these candidates became the members of the parliament. And once the election to the parliament have taken place, the parliament needs to perform the various functions, which include the functions which we are going to discuss today. So first one is the to select the national government. The parliament has the first function to select the national government, and it includes, or it consists the president, the Rajya Sabha, and the Lok Sabha. So let's see. First one is the president. Now, who is the president? Who elect the president? Let's see. So it is the president. The president is the common head of all the constitutional entities. So he is the common head. The president is being considered as the common head for all the constitutional entities, or all the constitutional work which is related. Then the president is indirectly elected by an electoral college which comprise the Parliament of India. Means it will include both the houses. Okay, that is the both the houses and the legislative assemblies of each of India states and territories, who themselves are all directly elected. So these this college, electoral college, which include the parliament and the legislative assemblies and the elected members of different states, who elect a president. Then we have the Lok Sabha. Number two, under the selection of the national government, we have the Lok Sabha. So after the Lok Sabha election, a list is prepared. When the Lok Sabha election is being held, a list is being prepared showing how many members of parliament belong to each political party. So it is, a list is being prepared where numbers of members who belong to the members of parliament are being listed. And there are 543 elected plus 2 Anglo-Indian nominated members in the Lok Sabha. There are how many members? There are 543 elected members are there in the Lok Sabha, and 2 Anglo-Indians are also nominated for the Lok Sabha, from Lok Sabha. And then for a political party to form the government, they must have a majority of elected MPs, members of parliament. So for a political party to form a government, they must have maximum numbers of member of parliament. Okay, So, and then a majority party should have at least half the number, and a majority party should have at least half the number, that is 272 members or more in the parliament. They must have more than 272, or exactly 272 members they must have in the members of the parliament. Then the opposition in parliament is formed by all the political parties that oppose the majority party, and the opposition of the in the parliament, because a parliament does not only include the ruling party members, it also includes the other political party members also who are not ruling the country. So it is the opposition party. Other than the ruling party or the majority party, the others are being considered as the opposition party in the parliament. So the opposition in parliament is formed by the political parties that oppose the majority party, or coalition is formed, and the largest among these parties is called opposition, is the opposition party. And among them also, whoever have the majority numbers out of the majority party, other than that, the largest among them are known as the opposition party. So one of the most important function of the Lok Sabha is to select the executives. Now executives are what? It is the group of person who work together to implement the laws made by the parliament, for which we use the term government. So government include various ministers. So these executives are after like selection, all the member whoever is being elected, they do not become the executive. There are some selected one who become the executives. So one of the important function of Lok Sabha, after the it is held, after the results are out, it is the to selection of the executives are very important. And these executives are the group of the person who work together to implement the laws and laws made by the parliament, for which we use the term government. We call that government or the ruling party. The prime minister of India is the leader of ruling party in the Lok Sabha. When two or more than two different political parties join together to form a government, it is known as coalition government. So what happened when one another political party joins the majority party, or we can say when two political parties they get joined, or they get merged, and they form the government, then it is called as what? Coalition government. A single party, suppose like here in our last time also it has happened that AGP and BJP got merged, and that is coalition. Okay, so when these two parties get merged or they join together and they form a government, and it is known as coalition government. So what is coalition government? When two political parties join together and they form the government, it is known as coalition government. The next one is the third one is the Rajya Sabha. So Rajya Sabha functions primarily as the representative of the states of India in the parliament. It functions primarily, basically it has the role to become or to have the representative of the states of India in the parliament. Okay, and it has an important role in reviewing and altering the laws initiated by the Lok Sabha. The laws which are being initiated by the Lok Sabha, they have the Rajya Sabha members have the role for reviewing of those, or they can change in the laws also. They can do that. The Rajya Sabha can also initiate legislation. They can also initiate the legislation. Then a bill is required to pass through Rajya Sabha. Though it is presented in Lok Sabha, the bill is being presented in Lok Sabha, but that is passed through only Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha has to pass the bill, then only it will pass. Otherwise, even if it is presented in the Lok Sabha, it will not pass if the Rajya Sabha do not pass that particular bill, whatever the bill it is related to. The members of Rajya Sabha are elected by the elected members of the legislative assemblies of various states. So Rajya Sabha members are being elected by the members of the legislative assemblies of different states. So it is from different state, Rajya Sabha members are being elected by the legislative assemblies of different states. There are 233 elected members plus 12 numbers of nominated by the president. So there are 233 elected members of the Rajya Sabha from different states, from by the legislative assemblies, and there are 12 members which are being nominated by the president. Now, number two is to control, guide, and inform the government. The second function of the parliament. The parliament begins with a question hour. There is a whenever the parliament house have discussion, there is a question hour. In that question hour is an important mechanism through which the members of parliament can elect information about the working of the government. They can question on the government what is being going on or what has to be done, so they can put questions. The members of the parliament can point out questions to the government, to the ruling party in the question hour. So by asking questions, the government is altered to its shortcomings. So whatever the shortcomings, government can change that one. They can modify, they can improve the shortcomings of their own government. So it is a kind of discussion or question hour is there, where the members of parliament can put questions to the government or the ruling party, and if necessary they have to change those shortcomings or the shortfall which are being identified by the members of the parliament in the discussion. The government also comes to know the opinion of the people through their representatives in the parliament. So government also will get kind of feedback of the people, how they are doing, what about their implementation, if it is going well or not. So they will get the feedback or they will get the opinion of the people through the representatives, because the MPs are the representative of the people only. Okay, so through this representative, the government will come to know about the opinion of the people also. So in all matters dealing with the finances, the parliament approves is crucial for the government. So all matters which are related to finance of for the developmental activities, the finance is very important. So anyway, all the matters, not only like developmental activities, even for all the activities we require finance. So this all matters which are dealing with the finances, the parliament approval is very important for the government. If parliament approves, if all the members are agreed to that, then only government can function on that. Okay, then the last one is lawmaking. Lawmaking is a significant function of the parliament. You will learn about this in the next chapter again. So lawmaking is a very important function of the parliament, because the representative which are representative of the people, they looking into the people's aspirations, their requirement, their needs. The law making or the rules are being or the guidelines are being formed by these members of parliament, which is for the proper functioning of the country. Okay, so that is all about the function of the parliament. So where we have discussed about three functions, one is the lawmaking, another one is to select the national government, and another one is to control, guide, and inform the government. And the in selection of the national government include three, which includes the president, which includes the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Okay, and the Lok Sabha, after being election is being held, representative are being different from different constituencies are elected for the uh, parliament. Okay, and then we have also discussed about Rajya Sabha, and then we have discussed about the lawmaking, which is a function. Lawmaking is important because it is made by, or the guidelines or the law are being formed by the members of the parliament with agreement. Okay, and then also for guiding and informing the government, because whenever there is a discussion in the parliament, the government comes to know about the opinion of the people through the representatives, and they can change their or they can try to improve their shortcomings for the development of the country. So that's all for today. I hope you all have understood. And another topic was there, that is who are the parliament. We already have discussed about that. That is who are the people in the parliament. So we already know that people of the parliament, it includes basically the representatives. So there has been also an increase of political participation in the Dalits and backward classes. Some seats are that's why reserved in the parliament for the SCs and STs. Okay, similarly there are reservation for seats for women also. So parliament is has now has more and more people from different backgrounds. Initially it was only the representatives, but there has been an increase in the political participation even of the Dalits and the backward classes. So that is the reason there are some seats reserved for the parliament for the SCs and STs, and also some seats are reserved for the women, for female. Beside the representatives, there are some seats which are reserved for SC, STs and for women. So that is all about for today's class. I hope you have understood. Please note down the points. Thank you so much.